Good afternoon, everybody. Today's video is a video response to Bennyboy Biker and his conspiracy theories video. Now, before I start, let me just say, if you notice anything odd about this video, like there's continuity errors and things, it's because I've kind of filmed this in 2 takes. I did 1 take a few days ago, but I wasn't happy with some of the things that, with the way some of the things turned out, and I was erming and ahhing a lot, and I hadn't really prepared for it. This take, I'm a little bit more prepared, and hopefully most of it will be used from this one. But there is stuff from the other one I use, because there's a funny incident that happens while I'm talking, which you'll see. Nothing major, just something that relates to well, not an old video, a video from a couple of weeks back. So I'm going to leave that in there. So yeah, if you notice I'm talking on the same bit of road twice, then yeah, don't worry, it's all it's because of the way this is filmed, and it all adds to the conspiracy. So yeah, Bennyboy Biker was on about conspiracy theories and you know, just what your thoughts are on them and stuff. I thought I'd do a video response rather than leaving one big ass comment on his video. So where do we start? Obviously there's loads of them about everything. Well, like Bennyboy Biker says, there's a pretty much a conspiracy theory for everything. Like, you know, this video is a conspiracy theory. But am I even real? There's a conspiracy theory that Phil 480 isn't actually a real person. He's actually a lizard from an underground race of supreme beings that are waiting dormantly beneath the Earth's surface to wipe out the human race when the time is right. I'm going to talk about a couple of the well-known conspiracy theories and just put my have my 2 pence worth on it. What are you doing? Porsche? No idea. Bennyboy Biker mentioned that the main topic was about the whole Malaysian Airlines incidents, the MH370 and MH17. The conspiracy theory is that the MH17 plane that got shot down a couple of weeks ago is actually MH370. Yes, the theory is that MH17 that was shot down, the plane that was actually shot down, was actually MH370, which went missing a few months ago, and MH17 is still around somewhere. It's been taken hostage, hijacked, whatever. That's the theory. There's loads of other little bits of evidence to kind of support the theory. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. So another conspiracy theory then, the John F. Kennedy assassination. Was there a second gunman and all that lot? I don't know. I don't know too much about the conspiracy, to be honest. All I will say on this one is I think Red Dwarf pretty much nailed it. There's an episode of Red Dwarf, I can't remember which series, I think it's series 3 or 4. The episode title is Tikka to Ride, as in chicken tikka. I won't spoil it because they it's a good episode, definitely worth watching. And if you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. The way Red Dwarf portrayed the assassination was brilliant. And that probably is what happened somehow. There's a couple of other minor celebrity ones, like, well, Bennyboy Biker mentioned a couple of these, like Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson not really being dead, Elvis not being dead. Well, we all know Elvis isn't dead, he just went home. Michael Jackson, dead? Yes, I would say he is. Perhaps killed on purpose, make it look like an accident. Maybe. I can certainly see the reasons why that would have happened, because obviously, you know, when any huge rock star, pop star, anything like that dies, they instantly are worth a load more money to whoever owns the material. So yeah, someone like Michael Jackson dying would definitely make some people rich. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised in the least if he was actually assassinated. The Paul McCartney one, that's an interesting one. I really like that one. I think Paul McCartney is the real Paul McCartney. I find the conspiracy though quite fascinating that he was killed in a car crash, and they replaced him with a lookalike for the rest of the Beatles' career, because the car crash happened just before the Beatles were really hitting the big time, so no one would really have noticed if he was replaced. Yeah, it's quite fascinating, but I think a lot of the evidence on that conspiracy, I think, has deliberately been put there by the Beatles management, artwork, record company, whatever, just to sort of stoke the flames a bit, you know, because there's in some of the artwork on the album covers and that, there is a couple of little hints that kind of indicate that maybe Paul McCartney did die, and I think the Beatles / artists, whatever, put them in purposely just to wind up the conspiracy theorists. Oh, you ran red. Oh, and that's another one. Talking about the Beatles reminded me of it. Well, just because I'm talking about music and stuff. The ones that say things like the lyrics of Led Zeppelin, when you play it backwards, it has all these satanic lyrics and stuff. That's just hilarious, because if you play anything backwards, your brain will hear words that aren't actually there, and you probably pick up words that you want to hear. Okay, what I'm going to do is we'll rewind what I've just said just now for the last, I don't know, minute or so. Yeah, we'll play what I just said backwards, and we'll see if we can recognise any words. There you go. That's one for you conspiracy theorists that think I'm an underground lizard supreme being thing. Yeah, this is my good enough. And I'm like, that's your sneaky mobs. Okay, so we know on the camera face. We'll miss you. Best not well. Hey, we also in him. We are not how the plants is not. That's no, we'll see. Isn't it go back off it? It's no, we used to walk the field, must be there, been we'll shout off, it's where we right, on to the big one then. 9/11, that's a huge conspiracy theory. Some of it I do agree with. There's definitely something dodgy about the whole 9/11 thing. Very strange the way that the Twin Towers collapsed. It looked almost like a perfect building demolition, you know, a controlled explosion. There's a couple of theories that the planes weren't actually manned, they were flown by remote control. I don't really believe that. I'm pretty sure that them planes were genuinely hijacked, be it from the Americans or Al Qaeda, whoever. I'm pretty sure, yeah, they were genuinely hijacked. The other building that collapsed nearby, the World Trade Center, I forget the building name now, but that also collapsed just from having debris fall on it, which just doesn't make sense. No building has ever fell down like that. Buildings have survived much worse impacts, earthquakes and that sort of thing, and not fell down. Buildings have been hit by planes before and have been fine. So yeah, it's a little bit dodgy, if you ask me. And that other building that came down, I think that contained some really important government files and stuff, which they obviously wanted to get rid of. So they covered it up by staging a terrorist attack, maybe. But the one that raises the most questions for me is the Pentagon. The plane that hit the Pentagon, or supposedly hit the Pentagon, I don't think it was well, it certainly couldn't have been a commercial airliner. If you look at the hole in the side of the building and compare it to the size of an airliner, bear in mind this airliner would have been, I think it was a Boeing 737, or something like that, basically something with two huge Rolls-Royce engines on the wings either side of the fuselage. Them engines weigh quite a bit, so something like that hitting a wall would make quite a large hole, the main force of impact would be from the engines, because they're probably the heaviest thing on the plane. So they'd have made two massive holes, or one massive hole, in the building. But actually, if you look at it, the actual hole of the building is probably just a little bit smaller than the cabin area of the plane, which isn't made of heavy metal stuff. So that's a bit odd. Also, there wasn't much wreckage. They claim that the wreckage all burnt up in the jet fuel. It vaporised it all. Now, there was bodies recovered from the wreckage, if my information is correct. If there were bodies recovered, surely they would have vaporised way before anything like metal could have been vaporised. Like the vaporization point, whatever the word is I'm looking for, of a human body will be the temperature will be much lower than that of metals and stuff. I also seem to remember a photo of a little bit of aircraft wreckage being pulled out of the Pentagon from a jet engine. The size was way too small to be from a commercial jet. The size of it would have been more suited to a small fighter jet maybe, or even a jet-propelled missile of some sort, or a drone maybe. And they've not actually made any CCTV evidence public, or nothing of any use anyway, to have a look. There's literally a few frames of probably doctored stuff, which kind of looks like a plane coming in, which is just on a like stop motion thing. It's only a couple of frames, several frames apart. It's not very good. But yeah, all the CCTV footage from all the nearby buildings within minutes was seized by the government, the FBI, CIA, whoever, CIA, FBI probably, I don't know. So yeah, I'm thinking more, maybe it was struck by a missile or a drone or a small jet aircraft. Certainly not an airliner. So yeah, 9/11. Totally, completely and utterly dodgy in a lot of areas, and if you haven't watched it, it's worth a watch. Keep an open mind when you watch it, but it will make you question a few things. It's like a little documentary, which I think it's on YouTube. It's also on Daily Motion. It's called Loose Change. They go into a bit of detail about stuff. It's worth watching. Very interesting. Right, one more then. Let's talk about one of the other big famous ones, the moon landing. There's a big conspiracy theory that the moon landing was faked. A couple of examples. One of the most ridiculous ones is the photos that they took on the moon do not show stars in the sky. Very good reason for that. Any photographer will tell you why there's no stars in the sky. They're there, they're just not visible to the camera. And that's because the foreground is all lit up from the moon, the surface of the moon, which is obviously lit up from the sun, and the brightness will cancel out the dim stars that will be right in the background there. That's why it's all, yeah, it's all to do with lighting and stuff. That's why you can't see the stars in the photos there. Another one they like is why the flag isn't waving, or why the flag is waving, I should say, rather, when there's no wind on the moon because there's no atmosphere. Well, that one is explained, and in fact is very well tested by Mythbusters. They did an episode on this. The reason the flag is waving, oops, naughty me, I probably could have stopped, but there was a van right behind me who did go through the red. Ace Couriers. Yeah, if I'd have stopped there, he'd have been up my arse. Literally. That's painful. Yeah, why the flag isn't waving. Why the flag is waving when they're putting it up. When they're assembling the flag, you see it waving. The reason it appears to be waving is because of the vacuum. Because there's no air or atmosphere on the moon. There's no air resistance. So when they're putting the flag up and it's flapping about while they're moving the pole and stuff, that's creating like waves in the fabric, but there's no air resistance to slow that down or stop it. So it just continues to continues to flow until they sort of hold it in position into the square shape that it is. And they tested this in a vacuum room. They did one in normal atmosphere, and one obviously in a vacuum, using the same flag, or the same type of flag. And they've shown that in normal atmosphere, it does wave around and then sort of comes to a stop from all the resistance, air resistance. And then the other one they did in a vacuum, and sure enough, it waved a lot more. What are the other ones? Oh yeah, there's one piece of proof, really. I'm sure it was on the Apollo 11 mission. I might be wrong there, but anyway, on the moon they've got these reflectors for reflecting laser beams. Lasers. So the astronauts assembled these reflectors on the moon and came home. And people down on Earth, they have a huge laser, fire the laser at the moon, at these reflectors, and the reflectors bounce the laser back. There's no way that laser would bounce back if there wasn't a reflector to do the reflecting. So someone's got to have been there. Another reason the conspiracy theorists think it was a hoax was because Neil Armstrong, fairly recently, well, recently-ish, sort of, I don't know, last 10, 20 years, something like that, refused to swear upon the Bible that he went to the moon with Buzz Aldrin. Basically what happened is this, I think he was one of the conspiracy theorists, obviously, at a press conference or something like that. He came up to Neil, shoved this Bible in his face, quite rudely, and said, "Do you swear on the Bible that you went to the moon," or whatever? And he refused, and to them that was enough proof that they needed that he never went. Otherwise, he would have sworn on the Bible. But the thing is, Neil Armstrong, he wasn't a Christian. He was I can't remember the word now of his that describes his religious beliefs. Basically, he doesn't believe in God or anything like that. Obviously, if you work for NASA, they're a pretty scientific company, especially if you're going around with flying in space rockets and stuff. I think you're going to have a pretty good idea on where your beliefs stand. So why would you swear on the Bible if you're not of that religion, or even have, religious views, opinions, whatever? No, just no. Absolutely not. Go away. Never. Get a paint job, we'll talk about it. Oh. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay, right, that's the moon one. That's my thoughts on the moon. Yeah, of course they went to the moon. So yeah, there you go. I think that pretty much covers all I wanted to say. So ride safe, everybody. Hope that's food for thought. I am expecting a load of comments on this, probably from non-motovloggers, trolls maybe, or just complete nutters on conspiracy theories and stuff, and everything is a conspiracy, really. Like Bennyboy Biker said, just everything. This video is a conspiracy. Like I said earlier, Phil 480 is a conspiracy. Oh yeah, there's another conspiracy. I just thought of this. Another ridiculous conspiracy I heard of. Something about the moon being hollow. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's it. I think that'll do. End of the video. Thank you all for watching. Ride safe, and see you on the next one. Yeah, alright. Oh yeah. The battery's blown up.